Welcome to Check Please as the 2021 year comes to an end. Here's a look back at some of the top moments from our show.
Dude, I got a funny story about you. Do you remember this? So when you first came to the team in, what was that? What was your first year here? I forget.
2016.
16? So that offseason, everyone was telling me, oh, don't worry about Vernon Davis. He's old, he's washed up, he can't run anymore, can't play. And I said, really? You think so? And then my agent was like, yeah, don't worry about it. Remember you came in and you lifted weights the first time and you're throwing around 405 like it was nothing on the bench press. I was like, that looks pretty darn good, you know? And then I kind of we ran your first route in practice, and I remember you outran the quarterback's arm from the slot position as receiver. And I've never seen anyone do that before or since. And I thought to myself, well, I'm probably going to be looking for a new job here in about 4 weeks. So obviously you take great care of yourself in the off season.
Oh, that is so funny.
Yeah.
One of the things that Coach Rivera talks about a lot is like the maturity of the team. So kind of to your point, who is that leader? How do they bounce back? Right. When you do have such a young team, how do they bounce back from those losses? Is it the leaders? Is it the young guys being able to check themselves? Like, how do you find and build that maturity?
I think it's really challenging. I mean, Vernon had like a methodology that worked for that San Francisco team, but I, was a part of teams that really struggled. I think the only winning season I had in my whole career was 2012 here with Washington, and that was tough. We kind of caught lightning in a bottle a little bit, and guys were able to, play off of good performance by other players and kind of rally behind certain guys. Robert Griffin III comes to mind, and I think they need some type of catalyst, some type of spark, and that can come from a coach, that can come from a player. It just depends on finding that moment, that piece of energy that catalyzes the whole mixture.
You mentioned Logan Thomas. Since you both are tight ends, Let me ask you this. Transitions from quarterback to the tight end position. He buys in. He's in love with the position now, and you can see that the way that he plays. Vernon, could you imagine changing positions? And what position would you go to if you were to change from tight end?
I'd probably try to go to quarterback.
Why is that?
Why not?
Is it because of the paycheck? Or
No, you know what? No, it's not about because tight end position, look. We don't get enough respect, buddy. We have to know everything. We have to know blocking assignments. We have to read the coverage. Releasing from the line of scrimmage and being able to keep your eyes up and look downfield and see what coverage it is. Yeah. Because that dictates how we run our routes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because if I have a route where maybe, it could be cover 2, right?
Yeah.
And now I know it changes if I have a comeback route. Because our routes, we can either turn inside or outside, depending on the leverage of the defender.
And the rotation of the safeties.
That's very important. Now, you miss that, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
So can you throw a football though, Vernon?
You know what? I would learn to throw a football. I would go to quarterback camp.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick here, position you would probably transition to.
Because I'm not a great athlete, I'd probably have to move in. So, usually athletic guys move in. So I'd have to be probably an offensive center or a guard or something, just because I can't run anymore.
Both of you obviously have a great memory looking back. January 1992, defeating the Buffalo Bills in Super Bowl 26. That was a 37-24 game, and as you both mentioned, not as close as the score shows. What are your fondest memories specifically of that game? I'll start with you, Gary, with that touchdown, obviously.
Yeah, that's me. They had started to make a little push trying to get back into the game and was able to drive down the field, and Mark Rippon was able to throw a great corner route to me, and just a great memory, especially because I told the cornerback what I was going to run before I ran it. So that's a great memory for me as well. Just being able to score in my second Super Bowl was just a good memory that I'll have for a lifetime.
I think that for me, the biggest memory is during the week, I think that game was won. And their defensive line coach had the audacity to trash talk our offensive line, one of the best in history. And when that game started, practice got so heated that Coach Gibbs had to stop practice and tell us to calm down. Mark Rippon got hurt in practice. We were really going after each other as if it was the game. But once we got into the game, I saw, that's why I love playing with these guys, because that tenacity and the competitive edge, it came out in that football game. And we were trying to destroy them, not just win. We were trying to destroy them.
And I love that because it is that mindset of practice is not supposed to be easy. It doesn't matter if it's a regular season game, playoff game, Super Bowl. We're going to train every week at the highest level. And in fact, practice is supposed to feel harder than games if you put the work in. And that's how it's supposed to be.
100%. practice, that's what it's for, practice. You know, it's to make yourself get better. If you can play well in practice, there's no problem getting up for the game. That's the easy part. But practice is the hard part because you're going out there against guys who go against you every day, and you still have to figure out a way to beat them. So it makes you so much of a better player. And I was fortunate I got to go against Darrell Green, who, if you could beat Darrell Green 50% of the time, it was a good time, because that hardly ever happened, quite honestly. But when I got to play against other cornerbacks, it made it so much easier for me to go out against them because my mindset was you're no Darrell Green, so I should be able to tell you what I'm going to do and nothing you can do about it. That was our mindset when we played.
See, I came in, I heard this little guy talk right here, and I was like, I like that dude. You know, because it's like you look for those guys who don't look like they the baddest, but when you get on the football field, they bring it every time. And Gary was as tough as they come. And I think that team was loaded with guys like that. And for me, a young guy coming in, you know, it's like my dad always said, look for the people that are successful.
He almost,
and I followed him.
Another thing, he must have also told you, look for the biggest guy on the team and get in a fight with him. He got in a fight with Jumpy Gathers. Jumpy about 6'8", about 340. And I'm looking at him like, they say this guy's a quarterback? I said, he is no quarterback. He's fighting this guy that is like just a mammoth of a man. I mean, what is it? What's Jumpy's nickname? The human forklift. Come on. He's fighting the human forklift. I said, I like this guy already. I said, I don't think he's a quarterback, but I like this guy already.
And I like that edge that you're talking about. You know, when you talk about that rabbit that you're always chasing after, having that, and I don't say it's just a cockiness, but even a confidence of like, I can tell you what I'm about to do, and you still won't be able to stop me. But that team as a whole, as you talk about, one of the best teams in NFL history. The numbers that when you look back, it was remarkable. The best. It was the best. Yes, it was the best. And so, you know, having that experience, just take us through that year as a whole, just the confidence that was in that locker room. Every day you stepped on the field, training, lifting, whatever it was.
I can remember that year, Monty Coleman, every game he was like, it's 0-0, we're starting off the season, we got to win this game. So all of a sudden we 5-0, and I'm thinking to myself, man, we got this. And he's saying, some people better not get in their mind that they have it. I say, well, he heard me say that, you know. But we go all the way 11-0 before we lose our first game. And I don't know if we knew we were that good, but as the season went on, everybody had to be thinking a little bit about,
I mean, we were thinking undefeated. We really were thinking undefeated, and wouldn't have been for that one game against Dallas, unfortunately, which that was just a freak of nature.
Yes.
Those circus catches that they made in the end zone, typically the ball gets knocked down, they catch it. But literally when we walked onto the field, even if we were behind, there was a confidence in us that we got this. We're going to come back, we're going to win this football game. And like Brian said, it's each game that confidence grows and grows and grows. And by the time we get to the end of the season, I mean, who tells the player what play they're going to run?
Gary Clark.
You know, I mean, but I got that from the Hogs. The Hogs are telling that.
The Hogs, Coach Gibbs thought the same way, because Coach Gibbs, in a running situation, everybody knew what he was going to run. He still ran it. And he told me, he said, listen, you have to have a certain level of athletic arrogance to be successful at this level. All he did was tell me, be who Brian Mitchell is. And that's who I was.
Those Cowboys, they scare the heck out of me.
No, they don't. I'm not
Dan
losing my
Quinn.
mind over there.
You like Dan Quinn defense.
Dan Quinn is getting that defense
They
in
went
line.
out there and they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. And I'm not giving you no props because you hung in there with the Super Bowl champ. Because if that's the case, we hung in there with the Super Bowl champ. It's similar to meeting Miss America. You think you finna date Miss America, then you find out she got a dead tooth in her mouth. You know, it can change your whole outlook. That's what the Cowboys are. They are Miss America with a dead tooth in their mouth.
That is why we call him the mouth of the South. Nobody can put it into words quite like that but Fred Smoot. Don't go anywhere. More of the best stories from 2021 after this break.
DC has a new home for your favorite songs from the 80s.
Tom Petty.
Def Leppard. Nobody plays more 80s.
Bon Jovi.
Prince.
94.7.
Madonna. Bruce Springsteen.
The Drive.
Now there's a way to make supporting your favorite restaurant even better. Introducing the Grubhub Guarantee. It's our promise to make sure your food is just right by delivering it on time within the delivery window and for the lowest price compared to other apps. Or you'll get back at least $5 in perks. That way you can experience your food just like the restaurant intended. That's the Grubhub guarantee.
Gambit DC, the world-class sports betting app and website. Gambit DC will be there for the first pitch, the first slam dunk. Bet on your favorite sports and teams, collegiate and professional. There are multiple ways to bet. Spreads, money line, over-under. Want to win big? Try a parlay. Want to be a part of the action? Try in-game betting. It's easy, it's secure, and it's at your fingertips. Gambit DC. It's sports, only better. Powered by DC Lottery. GambitDC.com.
Now there's a way to make supporting your favorite restaurant even better. Introducing the Grubhub guarantee. It's our promise to make sure your food is just right by delivering it on time within the delivery window and for the lowest price compared to other apps. Or you'll get back at least $5 in perks. That way you can experience your food just like the restaurant intended. That's the Grubhub guarantee.
It's a celebration in the DC Nation. Time to feel the vibe and take the party outside. We're celebrating a new day, doing it the DC way. Join the celebration in our DC Nation. Celebrate with DC-themed scratchers from the DC Lottery. There's nearly $2 million in total cash prizes.
With live betting on FanDuel Sportsbook, you can play here as fast as they play here all game long. Get goosebumps over bootlegs, adrenaline rushes over rushes. Yes. Turn garbage time into greatness and make every moment of every game a big one. With live betting on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, make every moment more even after kickoff. New customers get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. FanDuel, make every moment more.
Welcome back to Check Please here at DC Prime. Here is more from the best of 2021. Both of you guys have played at Lambeau. First off, it's iconic. I've never been. I'm looking forward to my first trip there. Logan, tell me, what am I in for? What is it that makes it have that just austerity?
I mean, I think it's, I don't know, there's something about the history of Lambeau, the history of that team, the history of Green Bay, and like it's you know, the fans own the team, so they're really supportive. It's a great environment, especially when you go in the wintertime that you can see your breath and the grass is thick. It's a really cool vibe. I like it a lot. I mean, Doc, how was it when you were there?
Well, I broke my arm there as a
Nice.
rookie. First preseason game was at Lambeau. I'm L1.
On the kickoff?
I'm going down on kickoff, and this kid from Notre Dame, McCoy, big guy, he was in the wedge. You know, when you're young, you just go, I'm going through it. Yeah. And when I woke up, it was 4 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Oh, wow.
You were unconscious for like...
I was unconscious that long, broken arm, concussion, out. And then the game we lost on a Monday night game that we lost 49-47.
I didn't know they scored that much point. That many points when you played.
So Green Bay to me is always like, it was a tragedy.
So one of my first starts at right guard, we're in pregame warmups against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think it's a Monday night game, and it's pregame warmups. So, you know, you're supposed to go half speed, take care of one another. So we're doing the pass rush period, and I'm going to shoot my hands. Kedrick comes with his big chop club rip, dang near breaks my thumb in pregame warmups. I'm like, Ked, what the heck are you doing breaking my thumb in pregame warmups? So whether it's pregame warmup or practice or game, he only had one speed.
But does that help? Because we hear that Chase Young has that. He's like, I don't know how to do it any different, but go at one speed. Or is there a point where maybe you have to, you answer that first, and then I want you to get to, is there a point where you have to, as maybe your years go by, adjust that speed? So let me get that one speed on how maybe helps you.
I do think most good players only have one speed because you can develop bad habits, you know, especially for O-line. If you're too high, right, you know, you need low pad level, you need the leverage. If you're just walking through practice half speed and you're going lackadaisical, then sometimes that can carry over to Sundays. I know right now there's not a lot of full padded practices in the NFL. So unfortunately, O and D line specifically, they can develop bad habits because they're not practicing in pads that often anymore.
I mean, for me, this is really what it boils down. We can talk. I mean, you got to practice at a certain tempo in order to understand in a game like tempo. That's what I like to say. You don't just turn it on like a light switch, right? So you practice how you play. So you need to practice with speed, but also have some sense because it is your teammates and you are preparing for a game. But as far as pregame warm-up goes, everybody goes hard except if you're the starter, right? The starters don't like to get touched, right? So I'm pretty sure Will was starting, so he was sore maybe from the last week or something like that. And I'm ripping and roaring because maybe I didn't play as much last week, and he left his thumb out there, and I happened to get it. And that's the truth. And what Will won't tell you is that probably weeks leading up to that, he was the one going hard, and it was just a little bit of payback. So it's like a cat and mouse game.
Oh, so you were keeping track?
Well, I mean, it just. I was trying to get ready to play a game. You know what I mean? Maybe I took a little bit too much beta-alanine or too many caffeine pills, but I was ready to go, and maybe I didn't match his tempo.
Do you have like a favorite play, memory moment, game from your time with Washington?
One of my favorite memories, I got 3 of them. I'll give them to you real quick. Getting drafted by Washington in 2002, making a roster in 2002, and returning a kickoff against the Dallas Cowboys in 2006 on Sunday Night Football. I remember that.
Prime time, all the lights, and you were showing out.
We lost the game, but that was something I always,
That's okay.
That's near and dear to my heart. I will never forget that,
I got a few. The first one was make it to the playoffs for the first time in my career when we was with RG3. And his rookie year was just so magical because that year was going to be like my first year really actually getting time as a backup. So the first game was against New Orleans and I didn't play, but just being in that atmosphere is like, oh, I can't wait to get out to practice next week so I can show these guys that I can play. Just seeing that atmosphere and seeing the guys go out there and play, I wanted to be a part of that.
I remember back the years that we were in the Super Bowls, our defense was in the top 5 every year that we went to the Super Bowl, we were in the top 5 on defense, and the run stop was that was the main thing we did, was we could stop the run. I mean, we had those Dave Butts, and we had a lot of guys that people didn't even know until we started winning, and our hogs were guys that nobody even knew until we started winning, and then all of a sudden they were the greatest offensive line in history.
Everyone looks at the NFL now as a passing league. I still feel if you're going to be formidable, how we want to say it, you want to be like that down November, December, January, you have to be able to run the football and stop the run. When we look at Washington and Philly, they're both in the top 10 when it comes to rushing. They're both in the top 10 when it comes to stopping the rush. The team that wins the battle in the trenches, we talk about quarterbacks, receivers, and running backs all we want. If anybody out there, go buy your jerseys, do that. I understand how football is won. It's won by the big guys in the middle.
We'll wrap up this edition of Check Please after this quick break.
Nachos, better with Pepsi.
You can celebrate your lottery win lots and lots of ways. But the very best way to play is responsibly. See how to play within your limits at mdlottery.com/play responsibly.
How do you follow up a game as big as Powerball? With a little more Powerball. Introducing Powerball Double Play, a second drawing where you could win up to $10 million on your same numbers. Add a little more fun for just $1 more. Drawings now 3 nights a week.
DC has a new home for your favorite songs from the 80s.
Tom Petty.
Def Leppard. Nobody plays more 80s.
Bon Jovi.
Prince.
94.7.
Madonna. Bruce Springsteen.
The Drive.
Veterans, you may have earned a variety of VA benefits. Did you know VA can help you further your education and pursue professional training? The Home Loan Guarantee Program can help you buy, repair, or adapt a home. VA provides housing support if you find yourself homeless or at risk of homelessness. And don't forget world-class healthcare. Learn more about these and other VA benefits. Visit choose.va.gov.
My work has been viewed by 100 million people. My work helps save lives. My work has gone platinum. My work gives people hope. I work at FedEx.
Take your career to the next level with one of our many open positions.
It's a celebration in the DC Nation. Time to feel the vibe and take the party outside. We're celebrating a new day doing it the DC way. Join the celebration in our DC Nation. Celebrate with DC-themed scratchers from the DC Lottery. There's nearly $2 million in total cash prizes.
Now there's a way to make supporting your favorite restaurant even better. Introducing the Grubhub Guarantee. It's our promise to make sure your food is just right by delivering it on time within the delivery window and for the lowest price compared to other apps. Or you'll get back at least $5 in perks. That way you can experience your food just like the restaurant intended. That's the Grubhub Guarantee.
Welcome back to Check Please. We're bringing in the new year with a look back at some of the best moments from the last year. We're back on Check Please, and when you sit down with two amazing quarterbacks that won Super Bowls, you have to ask them about their days playing, right? So let me get straight to it. Who wants to go first on, because both of you played for Joe Gibbs. Who wants to go first on television?
I think I let Joe. I think I let Joe.
Right?
I was
going to say let Doug do it, but
no.
I got him first.
Let me say this.
So,
I had him first, but he got it.
That's right. That's right.
Very true. Very true. Okay, so tell me one of your favorite Joe Gibbs stories.
Well, there's a number of them. Obviously, I'm a record holder in the National Football League. Not too many people can say that. I hold the record for the shortest net punt in the history of the game. It was against the Chicago Bears.
Which Ron Rivera was on that team, right?
He was on that team,
yes.
right? So
1 yard?
1 yard, one
Yep.
net yard. Jeff Hayes gets hurt. He was our kickoff guy and our punter. Joe's standing there going, what am I going to do? I walked up, I said, I can punt. He said, you can what? I said, I can punt. How hard can it be? You drop the ball, boom, gone, no problem. Guys will cover it. He says, fine, next time, just go ahead. Next time we punt, you punt. We wind up, it's fourth down and 8. So I get the snap from center, and so all the guys are saying, kick it right. I say, hey, don't worry about it. And I take them, and all of a sudden, the world goes into slow motion. It's like I'm approaching the ball, and I lay the ball out, and I raise my foot, and it's pow, and the ball goes flying off my foot, hung in the air, went 16 yards. So I get to the bench, I sit down, bang, they score right away. So now I walk up to him, and he's got the play sheet in front of him. You know, Coach had his play sheet. He had those big old glasses that he wore. He's got the play sheets. I said, what do you want to run? Very serious. He says, I want to run spread right, short motion, 60 outside. I said, great. And then I started laughing. I said, do you want me to punt again? He looked, he put the clipboard on, he looked at me, and he pushed his glasses up, and he went, I never want to hear the word punt come out of your mouth again. And so I retired with my 1 yard average. Joe and I communicate, every 2-3 months we just catch up with one another. I love the man tremendously. So I get this voicemail from him. He goes, and this is what he sounds like. He goes, hey, you out back working on your punts? He's got this giddy little laugh.
I went home with Coach Gibbs. When he got out of the meeting, I got in his car, drove to his house, sit at his table with Pat and his two boys, bless his soul, Carl and JD, and we ate dinner. When we ate dinner, him and I went, and we went through the playbook every night in training camp. And I never forgot that, no will. And then when I got the call to come up here after Joe unfortunately gotten hurt, he asked me, he said, I'm just calling Douglas. He don't somebody call me Douglas. Everybody else call me Doug. Douglas, and I said, he said, yeah, Coach, how you doing? He said, I just called and I just want to know, could you be the backup? I said, Coach, let me say this. I can be any up that you want me to be because I don't have a job.
This isn't when you were teaching school?
No, that was before the draft.
Oh, okay,
This is after the USFL had folded. But, you know, and when I came up here, I know we were playing in Green Bay and doing warm-up. You know, I almost froze to death. Pre-game warm-up, my hand was froze. And he said, he looked at me, he said, hold on, I hope I don't have to play him. But no, Joe Gibbs, to me, I think we got him after Joe had tamed him a little bit. And he was a different guy. Me and Mark had him at a different time.
Oh, as long as I've been around football. I mean, in professional football, you know, I've been gone now 36 years. And I played 15. So for, 50 plus years being around this game, never seen anybody with the ability to be able to orchestrate and create plays in the red zone like Joe Gibbs.
And who can make
phenomenal.
And who can make all the right decisions coming out of halftime. If he go in halftime and things ain't working, I can promise you he's one guy can come back.
We never
added.
We never added. That's the thing about it. We deleted stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You go in there.
He didn't say let's do this. He says let's take this out, this out, this out, and actually. I don't know if he was this way with you, but people said, did Coach and you ever discuss plays? No, he told me what to do and I did it.
No, I mean, at the end of the day,
it wasn't any, let's sit down, here's some plays, what do you think of it?
You go in on Wednesday, you go in there and you got a board full of plays. You go out there and you walk through, you run the plays in practice, and the next morning he cut back what he thought would look good, what he didn't look good. He take it out and you got this up there, and by the time you get to Friday, you got your game plan.
Yeah.
The game plan worked.
I thought it did.
It did. It worked.
Worked pretty good.
He won 3 Super Bowls for the Washington football team with 3 different quarterbacks. We're missing Mark Rippon at this table.
3 different running backs.
3 different running backs as well.
Well, but Joe hit something.
But yet the line was always relatively the same, right? For the most part.
We were lucky that way.
But Joe said something. Coach Gibbs picked a good coaching staff, but he also picked players that he knew that had the character and the will and the fortitude to work hard and come to play every week.
What a great teacher he was, too. Concepts and philosophies about the game of football. He saw the game differently than all of us.
He was ahead.
Well, he really was.
He was ahead of most people. I mean, think about it. He never had the same formation from week to week. 3 weeks, he wasn't going to run the same thing. It was every 4 weeks. But the plays was the same. I played when Joe played. I mean, when you think about the receivers I had, they all played same position anytime. Now you got guys who can only play X.
Right.
I can only play Z.
We're also seeing that's why Coach Rivera loves the flex guys, the guys that can play multiple positions, so you can do just that.
Most coaches do. Coaches do on offense.
Thanks for joining us on Check Please in 2021. We'll see you next time.